Don't stop giving fucks. Yep. We gonna stop giving fucks. Wow. Well. Ooh wee. Ooh man. What's up? That's just great. You weren't here for part one. I'm gonna show you what happened on part one. I'm like, bruh, bruh, bruh. Bruh. Fuck it, man. I'm at the point where it's like, forget it, fudge it. That account just posted it. I saw F Dub. I saw exactly what you're talking about. It wasn't no coincidence that they posted that. Wow. It wasn't no at the bottom. Hold on. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. Quiet Crew is back. Wow. Wow.
Hello, my.
Hey, how you doing? So glad to have you back.
I,
Man, I ain't never
I
seen
don't
that
even know what to
before.
say.
I don't either. I don't either. I ain't never seen that was I looked at the account like where I saw they do notifications. Somebody probably sent a prank too. But it wasn't just coincidence that just popped off like that.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking that, but did you go to your like the side of your TikTok center?
Yeah. I didn't see anything. I didn't see
So it could have
anything.
been a prank too.
Yep, it wasn't a prank though. It was somebody they had put that in there. As you
Yeah,
can see,
because that's too perfect. Like it was.
look at it. It's right
Yeah,
there. I still
yeah, it
got
was
it.
too coincidental.
It's too coincidental. We was talking
Yeah,
about some real stuff right there, boy. It's too coincidental.
I have
I
no
don't.
comment to that. Dude.
That's trash. That let me know right there that
We
they
were
got
talking
me
about some real. We were talking
killing.
about some real information, and I suggest, like I told you, to consider redirecting your followers to not only you know, your website, but maybe even a platform where you could stream on your own terms.
Yeah, that's really what's gonna happen. And they turned my internet off at my house. They turned it off all
Oh
the way.
no! So they're
They,
getting from left and right.
they turned my internet all the way off. Like I looked at my connection, perfect. They turned all my internet off. Now y'all know I'll be telling y'all some shit. Now y'all know this is for real. This ain't no game. They turned my internet off. See, we were in a live. She was here. He was there. As you can see. Boop, boop, boop. Soon as he started talking about something, they sent that notification. This is why I told y'all I'm planning on leaving TikTok. Like I'm really going more to my podcasts and I'm really going more to like Rumble, YouTube, and some other places.
I'm gonna support you, brother. I'm totally gonna support you and invest with you and whatever you need, because the way that you host us and the way that you communicate and put forward all the information, the time, the effort of producing your videos, networking. I mean, it's divine. It's divine will.
It is. That was just a sign to let me know what's up. I know what's.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised when that notification comes from TikTok. Don't be surprised when you see that notification right there. When you see that from TikTok, y'all. Y'all need to go follow Quiet Crew, QUIETQREW. Go to her website, quietcrew.com. Type in my name, Voilame in the corner. You get 5 to 10% off your order.
Yeah, and most of the funds get reinvested in what I do. You know, I don't resonate with this world as much as you know, I mean, I just don't resonate with this world and the matrix, and it doesn't matter to me. You know, I want to die. When I die, you know, I want to just have the good karmic, treasures forever within me. You know what I mean? Like, all of the funds that I receive is going to just be reinvested in either, Vietnamese platforms, the websites, whatever it takes, because these messages need to be talked about. I mean, it's about that time.
It is. It's gonna get serious. Like I said, they're doing censorship to a lot of people right now. And if you're talking about certain things, notice how that came up out of nowhere. This right here. If y'all ain't seen it, this notification right there. This is what they doing, bro. This is what they doing. Oh, guess who's in here? Guess who back? Guess who back, y'all? Guess who
Yeah, did he
back?
get back?
Yep, he sure did. Welcome back.
I'm about to start some. Y'all better follow me next time.
Y'all go follow Dr. Sabian. Dr. Academy. Dr. Sabian.
Sabian
Okay.
Academy. We're gonna
Yeah,
change this name, but I had to change. I need my name back because But we're putting up. If you guys go to my account now, it's going to be Sabian Academy 2.0. So I put together a series of content that is better than what I did before. Because before, because I have dyslexia and it's hard to read through these case studies and stuff like that. So I took some training. I got some resources now, and now we're we're getting deeper into the actual research, the randomized control trials, so on and so forth. And we come in with some facts. You can use my videos as proof, to support certain claims. And that's the whole idea of it. You know what I mean? So
let me ask you a question real quick. You were talking about plaque in the body, like basically long extensions coming out of certain areas. We can continue. I ain't worried about them.
Yeah, no worries. I'll be careful how I word it.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, thank you so much. But anyway,
go.
Okay, so the plaque, because there's debris in our bodies that we can't break down, and that's just been proven. Just with the types of foods we're eating, and that's been proven just the way that they make the food in itself. Because someone told me something about resistant starch and how resistant starch is in the body, and and how the resistant starch is being utilized. Our bodies can't break down resistant starch, and that can be found in flour and so on and so forth. But what they say is that the bacteria breaks it down, and then our bodies absorb it into fat. But I think even at a molecular level, these starches cannot be broken down by the body. You have to actually eliminate it, right? Because I cured my asthma this year, and I cured it with debris that has been inside my lungs ever since I was a little boy. You know what I mean? And I can breathe, and there was a brother, who's selling CMOS on this platform that was making fun of me at the fact that I was all stuffy, but he didn't realize that I was on a Dr. Sebi cleanse, and I essentially cured my asthma. So, that debris my body didn't eat it. My body didn't poop it out. My body didn't, pee it out. My body held on to it, and hence the reason why I was having those complications with my lungs. So as a result of all of that, I you know, as a result, all that stuff came out because my mom was giving me like baby powders like petroleum and stuff like that. These sort of things, these chemicals, Johnson and Johnson, these things are not good for you, right? So, you know, it could be anything in those lungs. But when your body can't break things down, what happens is that your body creates deposits. And these deposits just grow and grow and grow and grow, and they accumulate. So these starches that are resistant starches, which essentially what they're saying is that, you know, these starches are not made for the human body. It's not a natural starch. Your body doesn't need it. They even say that resistant starch is good for you know, cleaning out your intestines and stuff. It's a good fiber. But
right, fiber. Just like I was talking about earlier about prebiotics, what you're talking about with the amyloid plaque or the mucoid plaque, they're coming from amyloid polymers, proteins, and glycosides, and they come in all different variety and forms. And what they basically are, polysaccharides. That's what they are, and our bodies are not made to break that down. It's just our anatomical structure is not made to break down anything other than fructose. So all of these things accumulate in our colon, but I believe that it resides in the chest region and in the lungs because that's where the body expels stuff easier whenever it's in the bloodstream, not in the colon. You know, the first outlet of metabolic processes is through the lungs. It's not through the digestive system. So I personally, my analytical, like, you know, theory is that, you know, this mucus, you know, ends up in the lungs because as you're giving your body the energetic means to metabolize and get rid of them, your body's going to push them out to where it believes it's the best way to, you know, excrete them, you know, in the most comfortable way.
And like that on that point, that's why I kind of debunked Dr. Sebi's claim about mucus, because essentially mucus is just, you know, our bodies create, you know, a lot of mucus every day, right? And it's as essential for, you know, our body to function, to protect our cells from stuff. It's not mucus that's the problem. It's the accumulation of debris that's in our bodies that our bodies can't break down. So these starches that link up with proteins, they create it's kind of like, it's like a mucoid plaque, because the amyloid, you know, is essentially, you know, the same things that clunk up your blood, right? Like when you have blood clots and stuff, that's an amyloid, right? That's glycoside. You know, that's a glycoprotein that is clumping together, right? Similar nature in mucus. So when Dr. Sebi's talking about mucus, he's talking about this accumulation of glycoproteins that are, you know, obviously unnatural to our bodies, and they accumulate. So the only way to loosen these things up and to get them out of the body is by hydrating the body with melons, with berries, with grapes, that sort of thing, right? But your body can carry. And how I was the only person in this community that was able to identify, you know, to at least find a correlationship between diseases and amyloidosis. You can't support Dr. Sebi claims. You can't say, oh, mucus is here, mucus is here, mucus is here, because it's not true. Your mucus doesn't go inside. It lines your digestive system and in your lungs, but that's it. And maybe your liver produces it in your pancreas.
No, there is a relationship. You want to know what that relationship is?
Yeah, let me finish the point before you say it.
Yeah.
So, you know, what I'm saying is that I can't find, you know, no, but hear me out. Like, just let me finish the thought. I can't find with the research, I can't find it, right? And the way that I do my channel is by backing it up by research, so I don't get dinged, so I don't do it. But what I was able to find with my research was I was able to find that amyloidosis is associated with most of the diseases that we're talking about, because Dr. Sebi was talking about HIV. Dr. Sebi was talking about all these different things. And when you look at the organs, you can see the debris. You can go to, any of you go to Google and look up, type in your favorite disease with a specific organ and type in amyloidosis that goes along with it, with that query, you will see debris. They will show you imaging with these pockets and these deposits of glycoproteins that are just building up into the body.
Mm.
You want me to tell you what the relationship is?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you what the relationship is. You missed a point on what accumulates amyloid proteins, glycosides, all of these extra constituents. You want to know what it is?
What?
H2O, water. That is what.
Right.
That is the polymer that binds all of the extra on top of all the proteins, the glycosides, the glucose, aside from fructose. That's what causes disease inside the body. Any and all kinds, big or small. That's what attracts and begins the mucus. And the relationship between all of those chemical bonds is H2O. It's water. We're not supposed to be drinking water. I know that's going to trigger a lot of people because a lot of people are not in the environments where they're supposed to be at. So they have a trauma bond relationship with water. Those are facts. But all of the disease, the accumulated diseases, the relationship between all of the extra proteins, glycosides, and all of that, amyloids, come from the relationship between the body and water. That's why the water makes the majority of mucilage. And mucilage is a phenomenon. And the plant kingdom, look it up. Mucilage is a phenomenon. Just like purple sea moss, the mucilage, you know how it's slimy? That's a phenomenon in itself because it has its own aura. That is not made by bacteriums. That's made by the plant, but it's literally its own aura. Because plants are only entities that are the alchemists of water, of H2O. We are not. We are not the alchemists of H2O. Plants are. That is the relationship. That is the missing link.
There's a point someone had said, I'm not gonna, I'm not there yet when it comes to water, just because I'm a follower of Dr. Sebi in that way. But, a lot of people, I've seen healers talk about eating more fruits, just getting your waters with already charged fruits, like melons and so on and so forth, to hydrate your body. But I can also say that someone had said, when I drink water, it bloats. Well, the reason why you drink water and it bloats, and you bloat because you don't have enough minerals in your diet, essentially, to be able to absorb the water, right? Your body's telling you to stop drinking water, right? Because there's a time where I can drink the water, and then there's a time where I don't drink the water. You should be listening to your body and not drinking the water. Right? The first thing that you need to do, and Quiet Crew will love me for this comment, is that you gotta go get your fruits on. You gotta go and eat your fruits because so get in the berries, get the raspberries, get the blackberries, eat those first, and then drink the water and see what happens. And try to do spring water, because spring water, essentially what Dr. Sebi was saying, is that it conducts electricity. Right. So, however you get your water, right? I'm not going to downplay.
So I have a lot of points to say on top of that, and I must go. So I will say this before I go, because these topics are very intimate. And again, I know I ruffle a lot of people's feathers because I go deep, real deep into your I go deep to the cells of a person. That's why I sometimes rub people the wrong way. Okay. But when you think about what I say, I know what I'm saying is 100 because I'm mostly eating predominantly fruit, and the downloads that I get and the information that I get, I just don't get from out my ass. I get from up on top of my pineal head, okay, with electricity. So the thing is, Dr. Sebi, he mentioned about water, okay, being electricity, but he mentioned about it being electricity in nature, not in our bodies. That was the missing link also, you know? The way that we're supposed to consume water is through bathing in, through enjoying it, being in it. That's how we're supposed to consume water. All of the extra water, the H2O, even if it comes from spring water, the facts of the reality is that when you fundamentally look at it, it is dehydrating to the body. Point blank, period. The way that we're supposed to absorb our water is through our skin. It's deep. It goes real deep. It goes real deep. But we're not supposed to be consuming water through drinking it. We're supposed to be consuming water through bathing in it and enjoying it.
Interesting take. It's interesting. And, you know, I think that we don't eat a lot of fruits in our environments either. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us who, you know, we don't even realize how healing eating fruit is. And as elementary as it sounds, it's very powerful. Have you ever tried eating fruit? Like I was sick because I think I had smoked something that had, you know, mold on it, right? And I was, you know, just, you know, I was, you know, microdosing cannabis. But I was sick. I had to heal myself. But the only thing that healed me quickly was fruit, right? You know, was the fact that I was just eating, and to the point where my body wanted to throw up. And the thing is that when fruit is in your body, it gets into where it needs to get into. It loosens up the debris. And when you eat enough of it, you go to the washroom.
One more point before I go. And on top of that point, the reason why you feel like you want to vomit whenever you're on a high fruit lifestyle is because these fruits bring your body to make its own hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, when used in the medical system, in the medical field, because I was a nurse for 12 years, makes patients vomit. And it's to cleanse out the body. Your body makes its own, you know, its own hydrogen peroxide to vomit. And that's what fruits initiate, because fruits are the last line of healing. And when you consume those fruits, that's the last thing that wants to give you is oxygen. I must go my separate ways. I appreciate you for joining me on and about these conversations. I hope for the future.
Thank you so much. Y'all go follow Quiet Crew. Y'all go follow Quiet Crew. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you. Y'all go follow our Quiet Crew. Check out, excuse me. If you go to our website, quietcrew.com, type in my name, Voilame, for a 5 to 10% discount off your order. But Dr. Sebi Academy.
Don't call me Dr. Sabian.
Sabian. Excuse me, Sabian. You're giving us a lot of game, so we need to take in more fruits to get more hydration throughout our body, correct?
Yeah. Essentially, you want to hydrate yourself. If you want to get rid of the disease, you know, there's first, like, I'm going to approach this from a different perspective, and my perspective, based on the other healers and how their approaches are different. And I just want to, as a precursor, because I'm neurodivergent, I have autism, and I'm dyslexic. So when I can't break down information the same way that other people can. So when people say, don't drink water or drink water, it doesn't make sense to my brain because it's just not the way that my brain works. But, you know, we've had conversations, Quiet Crew and I have had conversations in the past about urine therapy. And, you know, when I did the research and when we talked about it, a lot of the stuff makes sense. So I'm not biased to my own belief systems. I try to be unbiased, and I try to do, you know, correct myself whenever I'm wrong. You know what I mean? So I wanted to kind of preface that so that people understand where I'm coming from when I'm saying these things. But when it comes to the functional distinctions with fruit, with healing, is that there's something in my body that doesn't belong that I can't get rid of, and essentially my systems have shut down. And we have this lymphatic system that is pretty much the highway at which we get our stuff out, right?
Yeah.
Essentially. So in order but what are the sort of the things that clog up the lymphatic system? Well, glycoproteins, do it. Proteins do it, and fats do it, saturated fats. And when you mix the saturated fats with calcium, you get the pus, you get all of that stuff that's inside. You get that debris, right? Because there's a lot of people, when you have my sister had cancer and she had a she had a lymph node right over here and it was enlarging, because, it's just the type of foods that you eat, right? And everyone's bodies is different. But, what breaks up those proteins? What breaks up those starches? What breaks up calcium is you have to hydrate the body. And not only do you have to hydrate the body, the hydration itself has to be charged. So it has to be, in a certain way where it can get into the cells and hydrate the cells so that your body can do its thing. The problem with healing is that most people don't understand is that it's not that your body is incapable of healing itself. It's the fact that your body can't heal itself because of what you're eating. Right? So when you get rid of whatever is stuck in your lymphatic system, in your lungs, in your veins, in your arteries, when you get rid of the debris, your body can then flush itself out because your body is its own healing machine. So what's the first thing that would help heal it? Well, fruit. And fruit is everywhere, and there's most of the vegetables that we eat are fruit. And you got to think, even from a metaphysical standpoint, fruits are ovaries. They contain seeds.
They sure do.
Right? They're detachable ovaries, right? Everything is, when it comes to, and this is, when you look at the mindsets that are governed in these spaces, it's patriarchal, it's misogynistic, it's all of this stuff because people don't understand the fundamentals of, femininity in our environment, in our, the nourishment, what actually gives us life. Fruits give us life because they say, not these new fruits. Some of these fruits are, but you gotta go with what you gotta go with, right?
Yeah.
But you have to understand that fruits are the thing that your body naturally gravitates towards. You go into the supermarket and you see, a bed of fruit. You want to eat it because it looks visual to the eye. The nature is telling you, eat me. And nature is also telling you that we are in abundance. You can go, in our natural environments, we can go anywhere and grab the fruits. My dad lives in Guyana, and he was talking about how he'd be in the jungles, how he would find the fruit, how he would find food to eat. He would follow the animals, right? You would see the predators around because the predators are, them looking at some, booty, you know what I'm saying, while it's eating some fruit, right? But you would find the fruit where those animals, the monkeys and whatnot, you would find the food sources where the animals were. So, the reality is that fruit is probably the cheapest way for you to be able to eat. And it's the most economical way, right? So, and it gives you the nourishment. And if you're not around a body of water, right, it gives you the nourishment as well. But what it does fundamentally within your body is that it breaks down those bonds and allows your body to eliminate.
Naturally heal itself by cleansing and flushing.
Yes. And your body is like a gear shift, right? It's a gear shift. When it's in a certain state, it needs certain things in order for it to run. So in the morning time, that's when you take your fruit in, right? When the sun is up, that's when in the morning time, that's the elimination process. everybody knows this, right? Because when you're eating your fruits in the morning, you're not eating the heavy, greasy foods and whatnot. The first thing you do is you go to the washroom and you have 3 or 4, dumps, right? Because like your body's getting rid of what it was doing last night. And the reason why you slept 8 hours is because now your body's getting rid of all of this stuff, all this debris, right? And you have you have a little bit of fats in your diet to power your body while you're sleeping. So when you wake up, the first thing that you want to do is turn your body on and break the fast. So how do you turn the body on? You got to give it potassium. You got to give it some of these, you got to give it calcium. You got to give it these things that spark. If you guys ever look at a science project and actually look at potassium, potassium is explosive.
Yes.
Right? It is an energy source. It's explosive, right? That whole line, you have sulfur, you have calcium, you have potassium, and so on and so forth, right? But as the chemical structures change, the more explosive they become. But the reality is that when you're taking fruits are loaded with potassium, like these berries. You turn yourself on. You don't need coffee.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yeah, you don't need magnesium because you can get it from certain fruits. You don't need certain things.
Right. So you're like super energized, but you're also pooping. And then when you're done pooping and your body will stop, then you introduce the heavier foods and you introduce the herbs. That's when you bring the herbs in. So the herbs, you replenish your body. You have to drink water. Like in my opinion, and from my research at this point, not to discredit QUIETQREW, you have to drink the spring water after you're done the fruits, because after when you eliminate all that waste, you become dehydrated. Right? Like
Okay.
it's a fact, right? You get rid of that poop, you are dehydrated. So you have to drink that water to kind of get your body back. Otherwise, you're going to be sleeping during the daytime. Right? So when you're taking the herbs, and what Dr. Sebi said, when you're taking the herbs, you have to also drink a gallon of water, because if you don't drink it, it's not that you will not be healed. It's that try going on Dr. Sebi treatment, and and all of the herbs are diuretics. They're meant to get rid, they're meant to get rid of whatever's inside your body. Try that. And not drink a gallon of water, you're going to be messed up. Your eyes are going to be red. You're going to be tired. It will not behave very well, especially when you're trying to get rid of stuff that is poisoning you and have been poisoning you. So you want to drink a gallon of water so you can flush that all out. And that's what he said.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what do you think about the mixing your fruit in your water?
Mixing your fruit in your water, like I think, but you have to understand that water has different states, right?
Yeah.
So there's H2O, and then there's H3O, or HO3O, and then there's the opposite, right? Like your body tends to take atoms or electrons, and it shifts the state of water. So water can be neutral, water can be acidic, water can be alkaline, right?
Okay.
So when you're adding fruits to your water, you're making it alkaline, right? But when you are drinking water by itself, and when you're adding fruits to your water, you're essentially bringing water that is designed and charged to get into the cells and push the debris out.
Okay.
Right? So if you're eating too much fruits, you're going to continue to poop and so on and so forth. And it's like turning on the system, the elimination system. When you drink H2O, when you just drink natural spring water, then you stop, right? It nourishes your body. It keeps the water in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's like an on-off switch, basically.
Yeah, it's like an on and off switch. And then when you put the herbs in, the herbs do a different thing. But it's like each state of water does something different. That's what I learned with my healing, because I realized that, if I don't drink the water, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drink fruits all day long. But what I found is that I didn't retain the water. So I drink water after I'm done the fruits, and it replenishes me and it keeps me going. It allows me to do the herbs, because once I introduce the herbs are also a diuretic, and you need to have a water supply in order for you to flush all that stuff out. Does that make sense? Put a one in the chat if it makes sense. If I'm saying it right.
he is some people asked, let's see, somebody asked, what about coconut water instead of H2O? Would that be under what you were talking about?
I'm biased. Coconut water is great. It's a great replenisher. It's loaded with electrolytes. But at some point you have to stop, right? Because what will happen is that a lot of people will have swollen feet
Oh,
because, right? Because I don't know, you guys tell me in the chats, but you like when you drink too much coconut water because of the salt content or the sodium content, if you're not equalizing the amount of water that you're putting on, like if you're not just putting regular water into your body, your feet will swell. Mine did, and that's just the way that my body is. So you have to, like, coconut water is great to drink, but you shouldn't be drinking it all day. You should have water, like have natural water.
I
But that's
see.
that's my opinion.
Okay.
And
No,
but it's also a fact, right? Like it's also backed by science. It's not Nobody's playing here in terms of water, but you should be hydrating yourself along with eating the fruits, along with the coconut water.
okay, so it's meant to be combined, is what you're saying. It should be, instead of just taking, let's say, just fruit water, you should combine it with natural spring in order to have a better flow within your body.
That's right, because we're gear shifting, right? Fruits eliminate, herbs eliminate. Water is neutral. You know what I mean? And water kind of adapts, right? And it's neutral. It doesn't have enough charge to go into the cells, but it does. Let me say that. It's like it's not charged. It's not going to push the stuff out. It's going to help you retain it, because when you implement the herbal treatment, that's when you need that water supply. Otherwise, you'll dehydrate yourself. This is
Oh, so mm,
Yeah, this is only, and maybe I should preface that this is only when you're on the Dr. Sebi treatment, when you're actually healing yourself. Like if you're just doing regular day to day, you don't necessarily need all of that water, but you have to understand what role water plays in your healing process.
okay.
To tell people not to drink water and they're taking herbs and they're taking fruit, you are telling them to harm themselves.
So if you, let's say you retain enough minerals in your body, and you can retain those minerals by drinking, like you said, fruit water or natural spring water with the fruit, as you said. What options? I hear Quiet Crew. She's still here. She said, drink fruit
Drink
juice.
fruit. Drink fruit juice. Yeah.
Yeah, it says water dilutes the waste. If you have a problem, drink fruit. Huh.
Yeah, it's a heat, like the healing. There's a healing regime, right? It's like your body needs to. There is a reason for every season. There's a reason why you do things and when you do things. There's a reason, and there's a time to drink fruit water or to drink fruit juice, and then there's a reason to just drink plain water. But in order for you to follow the Dr. Sebi way of healing, and that's what I'm biased about, you have to incorporate water into the healing regime, because you will dehydrate yourself.
Because some of the herbs, as you said, will dehydrate you. That's what you're coming across in your point?
Yes. So
Okay.
I have to specify that, right? It's not just, that's what Dr. Sebi said. It's that you have to drink that gallon of water, because I did it. I went through the same process, and it tore me up. Like I did the healing, but my eyes changed color. I stopped seeing out of my eye, that sort
Wow.
of thing. Yeah, because it dried out. Like, I don't know. I got in a fight a long time ago. Someone hit me with a pole. Um, but in my wilder days. But like for whatever reason, when I'm dehydrated, my body knows, so I do have to drink water. And your body knows when I drink that water, my body welcomes it. Like I could drink a gallon of water and my body's like, bam, it just takes it in. And then
I
there's times where
appreciate it.
my body doesn't want it, right? So, my body wants fruit. So I listen to my body, and my body tells me exactly what I need.
So let me ask you a question. Would you recommend somebody purchasing a water distiller or a purification of water like a Kangen or a charcoal mineral filter? Would you recommend those type of filters for water?
I'm not into the filters. I
Oh,
live
okay.
in, but I'm very blessed to live in a place in Canada where we get really good spring waters here. So I get, spring water
Fresh.
from the source, right?
Okay.
So I'm very lucky in that regard. I know that there was a brother that was, I think, training under, I think he was Eat to Live, and he's recommending the filtration systems of water, like these filters and stuff. But those things can get nasty, especially if they're black and stuff like that, mold and all kinds of stuff. Like I don't know if I personally would mess with that kind of stuff, but I would say if you can get natural water from the source, because the thing about natural water is that we need the chelation, the chelated minerals. That's what Dr. Sebi was talking about. So you have a mineral, and chelation is clawing. It's taking amino acid and clawing that mineral, right? And
Okay.
that's essentially what happens, and how these chelated minerals, how they exist, is that microbes will eat they will go and they'll eat a rock, right?
Wow.
And then they'll poop out the minerals from that rock, like over time, right? But the microbes are inside, like they're in the sea, they're in the bottom of the sea, they're everywhere. But they take the minerals and they poop out the chelated mineral,
Hmm.
right? So there's amino acid that is surrounded by this magnesium or whatever it is. And what plants do is that plants then take their, what Dr. Sebi talks about, iontrophoresis, that's what he calls it. But it's the process, if you look it up scientifically, is called chelation. So the roots will go in and grab those minerals and then use it to power the plant. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yes.
So microbes play a role in giving us the minerals that our body needs. Because the thing about chelated minerals is that when you ingest chelated minerals, the chelated minerals don't absorb or don't connect or don't form any chemical reactions inside your digestive tract, right?
Okay.
And because if you were to take iron, for example, iron pills, when they get
Yeah.
down to your digestive tract, they bind you up because iron starts connecting and starts, bonding with other things and your cells, so on and so forth, down that tract, right? So when you take chelated or natural formed minerals, it gets to your gut, and then your gut brings it into your cells, and then it makes it safely. But it also is a way for your body. Your body rejects a lot of that stuff too. If it's too much, it's too much. But your body doesn't know how to reject too much iron when you're
Hmm.
taking those minerals that are manufactured by the pharmaceuticals. Your body gets poisoned with too much iron. So plants and microbes know how to deliver minerals to the body the most efficiently and most effectively, and they don't waste. So as a result, when you're taking in chelated minerals, you're filling your body with the right amount of trace minerals. And we don't need a lot of trace minerals. Like our body doesn't need it. And our body stores a lot of it too. Like when we get it, right? And we can be good for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to spring water has natural minerals inside the water that's not fortified,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and it has the microbes, it has all of that natural stuff in it. And that's essentially what you want, right? You want that because those machines are not active. They're not activated. They don't have the microbes. The microbes are not living in those environments. You're essentially designing it. But if you have to, then you do the best that your body can, because your body is resilient. Your body does have, our bodies are not weak. Our bodies will make do with what they have. So if you take those machines, or if you know what I mean, if you take those filtration machines, they work very well in situations where you can't get access to that type of water, because you can't trust all of the spring water that's out there too, because they're fortifying the spring water. The spring water is coming in plastic bottles, so essentially you're drinking plastic. So sometimes the only result that you have, depending on where you live, could be those filtration machines, right? But if you can get it natural, get it natural. If you can't, then the filtration, those, not Brita, I'm talking about those industrial
size.
those big ones that actually filter the water. Distilled water is dead water.
Really?
Yes. Because it has nothing, no minerals, it has nothing inside. Distilled water is essentially dead water, right? If you have distilled water and you want to, make it alive, then put some fruit berries in it to activate the water so that, you get some sort of value out of it. But Dr. Sebi talked about distilled water. It's not something that you should use in your healing regime. But again, everyone's healing, and I'm not going to downplay people's healing journey. Everyone has different reasons why they use distilled water, but distilled water is not a healthy choice because it's not charged.
Really? I never knew. Someone said that this distilled water is neutral. Is that?
Yeah, it's neutral because a distilled water, like when you get distilled water, has no mineral content in it, right? It has nothing. It's essentially water, and that's it. It's neutral. The minerals is what gives water its pH balance, right? And that's where pH comes from. It's the amount of hydrogen bonds or hydrogen that's in a solution, right? So alkaline, spring water is alkaline because of its mineral content, right? The lack of hydrogen makes the solution acidic. Right? So Dr. Sebi said that everything is alive at 7.3 or whatever, and that's true, right? Like, we don't operate under any other than, we don't operate anything lower than that. Our bodies can't survive in that. And that's why our bodies are going through homeostasis, right? Our bodies are taking minerals out of our bones and out of our lungs, out of our hearts, and so on and so forth, just to keep the body always in homeostasis, keeping your blood at a certain pH and keeping all the organs at a certain pH so that it can run. Because remember, Dr. Sebi, how he came up with his form of healing was that he was a steam engineer.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he was a steam engineer. So, oh shit.
Temporary pause for a second. If you'd like to show support, the money sign VOILAME for Cash App. You can also show,
probably died looking at it. The person you're trying to reach is temporarily disconnected. If you'd like to wait, your party will be reconnected in a short period of time. We love you. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is something I'm going to just tell you about anything you learn. Take all information as a reference, okay? You take this information and you process it with other information you got. Think of information as puzzle pieces. As you put your puzzle pieces together, you'll figure out what resonates with you the most. That's all I'm going to say. Everybody has their information, their facts. Everybody has their own. It's up to you to figure out what works best for your own body. You know your body better than anyone else. That's all I'm going to say. Everybody has their own information. Take it as puzzle pieces and do your own diligence, your due diligence to see, feel your body, eat certain foods, drink certain things, certain fruits. Just go with what your body knows. I can't tell you what to take, what to do. It's up to you. We can only give you information in order to produce results for yourself. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You get what I'm saying? You're going to always find information that contradicts other information. That's how we are. This is the age of information. It's up to you to use your resonance and your awareness to figure it out. Like, okay, this works. Okay, no. You know what I'm saying? I love all y'all. I love all of y'all. Let me see. I think he's... Oh, Quiet Crew came back. Whoop.
My baby. Whoop, 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 whoop. She's back. Hey.
So I came back. I came back really quick because I did want to say I didn't get.
Oh, what'd you say? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
I was saying that I didn't get to listen to everything that Sabian Academy was talking about.
Yeah. He was mostly talking about needing spring water in your body. He was telling us about distilled water. He was telling us about the cagenesis, I think. Excuse me if I mispronounce it. That your body produces. It was a couple of things he was talking about. His phone had temp
Disconnected. Oh no, her phone just. You notice? I told you they be. Todd, hit the button. Hit the button. You know how Todd do.
Come on, guys. Todd, hit the jitterbox. Here she is. The one. I can hear you now.
Okay, so I didn't get to listen. I didn't get to listen to it.
Oh yeah, we were talking about minerals in the body. He was saying that you need to produce people. TikTok has been booting people all day. Yep. We were talking about also producing minerals in your body. What minerals to take in? We were talking about water, taking H2O and H3O.
Connection is booty sauce. I am so sorry. You see what I'm saying? This is why I'm gonna do a podcast, y'all. Matter of fact, look, if y'all want to find me and my other stuff, go to Voilame.
They be messing you up. Ooh, dang, the moon look tight.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
So I didn't listen much about what Sabian Academy was talking about. The connection is really, really bad.
Mineral water. We were talking about mineral water. Yeah, they're trying to. We were also talking about what to take into the body. He was talking about spring water, taking natural spring water with herbs in order to rehydrate. You dehydrate when you take herbs, and he was saying that after you expel those herbs out of your body becomes dehydrated. Still doo-doo sauce. They so mean. They don't want you to know, man. Can you hear?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Dr. Sabi came back too. He's in here. Dr. Sabian. He's in here
There's a
too.
really bad.
Hold on. I'm inviting him back. All right, here we go. Back in action. 2 for 2.
Oh man, my phone.
Oh yeah, we figured your phone died. We were like, oh snap. We got Quiet Crew back in too.
What up?
I wasn't able to listen for everything that Dr. Sabian Academy was talking about.
Yeah.
But obviously I want to further our conversation, whenever I can, to either debate or, bring forward more information about these subjects.
Oh yes, we're all for debates and getting people on the right track for them.
I know a lot
Yeah.
of my information it doesn't resonate with people all the way because they have to understand things on a molecular basis, on a chemistry type of basis. And until they do so, they're going to be lost in those voids. My intentions is to bring in, into furthering the search for answers as opposed to, furthering research, which gets people nowhere, and bring in real, true 5-star ratings on my healing practices because that's what I do. I offer, combinations of certain herbs and healing modalities that has reached me to this point of time 5 stars on all of my platforms and what I do, and I would like to keep it that way and continue on that journey. Not everyone needs to agree with me. Not everyone is going to agree with me or understand me, but those are my true intentions.
Mhm.
And, I look forward to connecting with whoever wants to connect with me.
So, like she said, y'all follow Quiet Crew. Number one, go to her website, quietcrew.com. Type in my name, 5 to 10% off your order. And also follow Dr. Sabian Academy, which name will be changed soon. So y'all need to
Yeah,
go follow him.
it'll be. Yeah, I was telling you on the video that the way that Dr. Sebi, the way that he came up with his mode of healing was because of his inspiration on working on steam engines. Because I don't know if anyone knows how steam engines work, but they're hydrogen base, right? Hydrogen is a fuel and
Yes.
can be very, very, very explosive, right? So, we
Yes.
can't really use hydrogen energy in a day-to-day basis because it can combust pretty quickly. But hydrogen can be used in like facilities, processing facilities, and so on and so forth. But Dr. Sebi got the inspiration from working on the steam engines because he understood, like when something gets at a certain heat, it changes and turns gears and so on and so forth, right? So your body works the same way. It's like a gear shift. When you do certain things at a certain time, it does a certain thing, right?
Mm.
But you have to be able to feel what your body's state is and be able to apply the things that your body needs,
The
right?
first thing that the body needs, and I'm going to be very clear and firm on this, and we could debate this on another time, but I'm really, really sure on this. I'm really sure on this. I cannot, somebody said it down below, I cannot legally tell anyone to stop drinking water. Absolutely not. I'm not going to give you that medical advice. But what I am going to give you is information where you could learn and search for the answers yourself and come to know that fruit water is by far more superior than any other water that you could find anywhere else because it metabolizes better through the human body, point blank, period. People could think otherwise. They could be, drinking their Zephyr Hills or Crystal Clear, whatever they drink, which is fine. And I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just giving further information that if you want to expedite your healing, that is the way. And that's 100.
Okay.
Period, point blank. Whoever wants to take me up on this debate, we could do so at some other time. And I'm telling you, I go straight to the jugular. All right. I go straight to the jugular with my information and we could continue on these topics because guess what? Nobody else doing it. The doctors, these researchers aren't doing it. We got to do it.
Yeah.
I must go. I love you all.
Thank you so
Talk
much,
to you
Quiet
later.
Crew. Thank you so much.
I'm a follower of Dr. Sebi, and so I am biased to his teachings because that's what this account is about. And like I said, according to his healing regimes, and I don't know if it's just to protect the business and to protect what they're saying, you have to drink that 1 gallon of water if you are on the healing journey, right? If you're utilizing herbs in the process, then you have to drink that water.
Okay.
And I am a prime example, anecdotally, that it's important for you to drink that water. I mean, fruit water is interesting, because not everybody has access. Because you got to like to juice, just to
Yeah.
juice, how
Yeah.
much fruit you have to use in order to get all that juice, right? So if you're on the healing journey and you're drinking, if you got access to a lot of fruit, then do it. But there is a benefit to water, and there is it does have its place and its role in your journeys. So
Okay.
I wouldn't discount it, but I'm not going to go after other healers and how they articulate their stuff, because I was friends with Dr. Sebi's grandson, and Dr. Sebi's grandson is like, man, I don't understand why healers are fighting each other and why they are, debating. Because my grandfather was not. He walked in a room and he was all about love,
Okay.
right? So I want to embody that as well. But I'm all about drinking that water. The one water that I don't drink is, I don't do the Kangen water. I don't do manufactured. It has to be natural to go along with the Dr. Sebi concept. But again, I'm biased.
I understand. I understand. I tell people all the time, use the information that you got to determine what your body knows. You know your body better than anyone else. They both had valid points. Both people had valid points. How you choose to use this information is up to you. That's just me. There's a lot of good points. Like you said, everybody's healing in their own way. I promote people healing themselves 100%.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we're so grateful to have you on here too, giving us some more information that could help people in their journey and in healing themselves.
Yeah.
Because they want to block a lot of this information, and they don't want us to have the ability to heal ourselves. So to have a couple of avenues in order to produce a better result for ourselves, this is perfect. Let me ask you a question real quick
Yeah, for sure.
about CMOS. Most people say CMOS. There's specific ones you're supposed to take. There's specific ones that are better than the other one. Isn't CMOS just a classification of a type of sea algae, or what is CMOS?
It's CMOS is not a classification of an algae. CMOS is non-existent if you were to actually look. People have the culture has talked about CMOS, but CMOS really doesn't exist.
Okay.
There are several different strands of sea algae that is available, and this is the reason why most people can't even find the research on CMOS, because CMOS is a blanket term to talk about sea algae that grows in the sea. But depending on where you live, you're going to get certain types of sea moss. So are
Mhm.
certain types of seaweeds, and particularly red seaweeds. So there's the cottony, there is the Irish moss, which is the I can never pronounce the name, Corpus crispus, whatever, which is a flowery version. And then there's the stringy versions, but all of them coagulate. All of them, like Irish moss is a name that they use in the Caribbean, but it's not Irish moss. It's
Mhm.
actual. There's actual names for these things, and there's different types of names. So all seaweeds are real seaweeds. There's no such thing as fake sea moss. They say, they call the farmed grown sea moss fake, but it's not essentially fake. Like they all but it's not as but if you're planning to heal yourself, you
Yeah.
want to go with the wild crafted sea moss. But essentially bladderwhack, kelp, there's so many different seaweeds that we kind of, because we're so hyped up on sea moss, that we don't realize that a lot of seaweeds can help us in our journeys, right? So, everyone should just get acquainted with seaweeds. Does it have 92 minerals? There's no such thing, no such thing as 92 minerals in sea moss. Like that's also infactual.
Yeah.
There is a possibility that seaweeds have 92 elements. So because underneath this, and I'm talking, and I got not 92. I'm gonna I have to be very careful in what I say, but underneath the ground, all of those mineral salts and stuff like that are underneath the core, and then there are volcanoes that spit out these minerals into the sea, and these plants absorb it. These seaweeds and stuff, but it's quite possible for you to find a lot of the elements inside these plants. But every plant is different. Every producer is different. Every seed, there are different types of seeds, right? So you're going to get a different combination. But people saying that it has 92 minerals in it, they're making infactual statements, and they can't prove it. They can't go to, even if they went to test it, it wouldn't come out as minerals. The test that they do is they do vitamin tests, like they check for some of those essential nutrients. They do trace minerals, and they do ultra trace minerals. So it's possible to have gold in there, but they're all trace, meaning there's not a lot in there to make a difference, because you can have vegetables and fruits without the minerals, right? We know that, right? So these trace minerals, when they're found, they're essential for our bodies. But the 92 it's like a myth, right? It's not proven. There's no studies on it. But you can, the closest that I was able to find, a lot of minerals in something is I got a report on kelp. And it was a kelp that was being used as a fertilizer, because they use kelp as a fertilizer for plants and stuff like that. And it had a lot of minerals in it, but it wasn't 92. But it had a lot. So, a lot of, elements. So we have to change. It's like we have to understand the language so that we can do the research. Some people don't like research, and some people don't agree with research. But I do, because it's irresponsible for me to just make claims and not be able to back it up by science. And I've been able to utilize science to back up Dr. Sebi claims, but from a fundamental, from a first principles level, not from a conceptual level. I'm not talking about concepts. I'm not talking about diabetes. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about specifically magnesium. I'm talking specifically about certain things so that I can debate and I can have these conversations, right? Because people just make wild, that was the problem. It's like, I have dyslexia and I have autism, and the way that people talk to me about health sometimes, it doesn't jive with my intelligence. It just doesn't compute. And I started this journey with Dr. Sebi, not believing a damn thing that he said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went and I wanted to debunk him. And I found that there's a lot of things that he said that can be proven at a first principles perspective. So, that's kind of what got me here, was that I wasn't a believer at all, but I'm a believer now because I went through science.
And you have your claims with results showing some of your information that you put out.
Yes, and some of it needs to be actually updated, because I was just a layman, right? I'm just like this average person that just wanted to debunk Dr. Sebi. When I did this channel, I wasn't even expecting 100 followers. The fact of the matter is, now we're at, close to 50,000 followers, and, and people are going through my journeys. But I told people at the very beginning of these journeys that, I'm going to be wrong, right? Because, I'm going to use science to be able to prove or disprove Dr. Sebi. So there's things that Dr. Sebi said that are not necessarily true. But there are things that he said that are true, like mucus, like the role that acidic food plays on the mucous membranes, and that's proven by science. I can prove that, because the anytime you eat acidic foods, it changes the composition of your mucous membranes. Acidic foods don't change your body's pH, and that is a myth, right? People think that I'm on an alkaline diet because I want to make my body alkaline. You're playing yourself. Stop playing yourself. It's infactual. Your body is always maintaining its own pH in the blood, in your organs. Your body does that on its own. It doesn't need your food to do that, right? So, so let's get out of the myth of acidic this, alkaline that changes my body's pH. It's not true. And it's a fact. It's backed by science. But what is true is that your gut is alkaline. And your mucus is alkaline.
So let me ask you something real quick. Is it possible to be too alkaline in the body?
Say that again?
Is it possible to be too alkaline in your body?
Yeah, it's called alkalosis, and alkalosis will kill you. You know, so you want to be too alkaline, then go and go drink some bleach and see what will happen.
Dang.
Right? You want to know what corrosion does? Too much alkalinity in the body corrodes. So you have a lungs and you have kidneys for a reason, because both of these organs keep your body in homeostasis. If your body is too alkaline, it needs to break, it will take minerals out of your bones if it's too acidic, it'll take minerals out of your bones. If it's too alkaline, then it'll do other things, but it uses your lungs and your kidneys to keep your body in homeostasis. That's what those organs are there for. It's a matter of fact, right? So, but your body knows, and nothing, if natural, is not going to make you too alkaline, because water has the ability to shift alkalinity to acidic. It has that. It's just a switch. Your body is switching. So, when it comes to acidic foods, what acidic foods do is that they lower the pH balance of your mucus. Your mucus is naturally alkaline, and it sticks to your cells to protect your cells from foreign invaders, right? You got to consider your mucus the same as your skin. Your skin protects you from acidic everything. You know what I mean? Pathogens and so on and so forth, right? So the mucous membrane acts as a skin for your insides. So when you eat acidic foods, as soon as you do it, you lower the viscosity of the mucus. It's no longer sticky. It becomes runny and exposes your cells. And that's how pathogens and stuff like that get into your body, right? If you've ever gotten, excuse me, as I say this, if you've ever gotten scratchy throat before you got sick, it's because the mucous membranes in the back of your throat have been thrown off based on what you ate. So to put the mucus back before those microbes and all that debris goes into your lungs and then you have a cold, if you want to prevent that from happening, go eat some ginger, some fresh raw ginger, not with water. Just eat some ginger. You'll restore those mucous membranes back, and you will prevent yourself from getting sick. The reality is that sometimes we eat foods, sugars, certain things that will lower the pH balance of, the mucous membranes. If you don't sleep properly, you will lower the mucous membranes. Your body will become acidic. Another sign of acidosis, when there's too much acid in your body, is when you're tired, when it's sunny out. If you're tired during the daytime, that means your body is experiencing acute acidosis. So to bring in alkalinity, all you got to do is sit there and breathe in and out for about two minutes, and you'll restore that, and you won't feel as tired. But because when your body's tired, it means that your blood is that the electricity within your blood, you know, it's like I forget what is the negative charge and what is the positive charge, but it's when properly balanced, blood doesn't bump into each other. Blood cells don't bump into each other. But when you eating too much sugars and stuff like that, the blood will clump together, right? And it that means that it's acidic, right? So you'll get tired. So a lot of the times, people that are eating meats, eating too much sugars and stuff like that, as soon as they eat it, they get tired, right? Because you're introducing so much CO2 into your body, clumping the blood cells together. And as a result, you need to bring in more oxygen into the blood in order for you to equalize that out.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So that's where that sluggish feeling, that, oh man, and the cravings for dessert afterwards. A lot of people, after they eat that type of meal, they'll wait a minute. Oh man, now I need a piece of cake or I need a slice of pie.
Yeah, it because it's acidosis. It's your body is tired, so you need to go to bed so it can equalize itself out. But what you could do is you can eat some sea moss, or you can just breathe in some, you know, some fresh air for about 2 minutes, and you'll restore your body back. This is a matter of fact. This is not coming out of the yin yang, right? So the reality is your body's always trying to figure out how it's going to control the nature of the body of you know, and control the pH balance and so on and so forth, because your body can't thrive, you know, in an acidic environment. It will kill the cells. You'll die instantly if you are actually experiencing acidosis or alkalosis. You're in the hospital. You're not alive, right? So because as soon as that happens, you're dead, right? Or you're in critical conditions, right? Our bodies do a really good job at controlling the acidic and basic states of our body. But the two things that you have full control over, the two things that you can regulate, is your mucous membranes and your gut, because your gut is alkaline. That is also a matter. Is all matter of fact. How could, you know, how could the gut, the microbes, build any chemical that your body needs in an acidic environment?
It could.
It can't. It can't. And here's a good case in point. Like, you know, how are we doing, by the way? Like, I know that I'm, you know, like, this is the first time me on here. So like, how are we doing in terms of knowledge, and are you enjoying this conversation? I would love to know. But for my autism, and I asked that because I just kind of need to know if I'm saying things the wrong way. But the thing is that urine, let's take urine and let's take vinegar. What's the difference between those two?
Cider? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
What's the difference?
So, vinegar has, at the bottom of it, has microbes. Urine, on the bottom of it, has microbes. One is, because urine has microbes. I mean, like, you know, why some people getting diseases and stuff. But you know, but urine has microbes and vinegar has microbes. Wine has microbes because they're, you know, after something dies, you know, it ferments, and the fermentation is being done by these microbes. But these microbes are sitting in there. But they don't. But once they break it down, it's clear. Like vinegar is clear. There's nothing floating in acidic water, right? It's just floating. Yes. But urine is different. You see, urea is proteins, broken down proteins that your body utilizes and turns it into urea so it can get it out of the body. Because protein will damage your body. Your protein's not meant to stay in your body for long. It's therefore a source of energy. It helps bring in minerals, but that's it. So, you know, your liver converts those proteins into urea, and the urea comes out. But along with the urea, because, you know, essentially urine is filtered blood. So it has minerals in it, and it has microbes in it, and it has urea. when it gets into urine, and if you were to put it in a glass, urine, because it's a life, now we're talking third eye, you know, it's a life force that is coming out of you, right? Just like blood, because you can store blood, if you can store blood, you can store urine.
Yeah.
The only difference between urine and blood is that there's no blood cells, right?
Yeah.
So in the urine itself, on the bottom of it is microbes. And what they do is they eat the urea, they break down the urea, and the urea turns into ammonia. And ammonia is alkaline. So they take, if you let urine age for about 7 days, it becomes an alkaline agent that is alive.
What? So you said I got all this alkaline in me?
Yes, in the urine. The urine is a form of healing. So you could take it, put it in your eyes, you can hydrate your eyes, you can put it in your nose, you can even drink it, you can do whatever. But urine therapy is a form of healing that, you know, people have been using for many years. A lot of people clown Dr. Sebi for doing it, but they don't understand. If they really were followers of Dr. Sebi, they understand, like, you can only take things that are alkaline. So now, urine that is aged is very stinky. It's awful smell because ammonia is very awful. But that's the difference, is that vinegar in urine is that vinegar is dead. Urine is alive.
Is alive. So could you use it to, let's say, water a plant, quotations?
They do that. The foods that you're eating have been fertilized by urine.
Really?
Yeah. In certain states in America, they are fertilizing it with your urine.
Oh, so we drinking fresh pee-pee lemons.
Yes, they fertilize. You can use your own urine to fertilize your plants, right? That's what they're doing. Wow. Look it up. Don't take my word. Y'all should be gifting us right now because we dropping some jewels.
Hey, he's giving y'all some game, y'all.
Giving y'all some game, but you know what I mean? But you use it. It's a life force. Urine is a life force. Because after a while, and I'm talking with my third eye here, okay? We're channeling now, right? Okay. Urine is a life force. When you let it sit, it will create crystals in the urine.
Oh my God. So I can shoot crystals out my... I'm a magician.
Yeah, and when it comes out, it could be acidic. But if you let it sit, the urine will become alkaline. Because the microbes are there. The same microbes that build in your cells. Right? Okay. Because in urine, there is stem cells. They're using the stem cells out of urine for stem cell therapy.
What?
Yes. It's proven.
Wow. I've never. Wow.
They're doing that right now.
Stem cells from urine?
Yes.
Man, let me find out I got a clone somewhere.
But, you know, essentially that's what they're doing. So that's the difference, is that urine is alkaline, vinegar is acidic. Both have their duties when things are depleting or degrading and so on and so forth. But when you peeing, our ancestors, when they were out there eating the foods and peeing, they were giving life
every time
to the earth.
So let me ask you, what about feces? Would feces be considered a...
Feces is alkaline as well, can be alkaline.
Huh.
But it's not the same. You know, feces does contain toxins and stuff like that. So, you know, feces, and especially with what we eat today, it's not even stuff that you would want to use as a fertilizer, right? Yeah. You know, and that brings me to my next point, is dogs. This is why, like Dr. Sebi's talking about natural and unnatural beings and unnatural things, because dogs are unnatural. They were created out of wolves, and their pee will kill your grass.
Because it's acidic.
Yeah, because it's that acidic. You try going and peeing on your grass, you will grow stuff. You know what I mean? It won't
Yep.
die, but your dog peeing on the grass will kill it. So that's why it's like, nature really gives us exactly what we should be putting in our bodies and exactly what we shouldn't. But urea is just excess water because the body's a pump.
Yep.
And it needs to get rid of that additional water to keep the body in homeostasis and to keep your body flowing. Right? So it's important that your body gets rid of the urine, right? But it's excess. But feces is where all the bad stuff comes out. And
Okay.
mucus is where the bad stuff comes out. Right?
Okay.
But urine is the only place where nothing bad comes out. And including menstruation as well, right? It's not a place where waste comes out. There's no waste matter.
Not at all. I heard that women weren't supposed to have menstruation at one point because of how the diet was for people. If you have more of a certain diet, you wouldn't have a menstruation period.
Well, it's people are going to disagree with me on this. Some people will disagree with me, but it's not proven that women were just operating without a menstruation. The reality is that back in those times, women were and excuse me, women, for speaking on the subject, right? Women at that time were having more babies between pregnancies and so on and so forth. So they weren't having as much, they were very sexually active, so on and so forth. It's different times, right? So there's a lot of factors into women's menstruations, but menstruations in a lot of tribes and a lot of places were celebrated, because it meant fertility. It meant, it was good. And you have to think, yeah. And what is in menstruational period? Well, it's the same thing that's in urine. It's the same thing that's in your blood. The only additional debris that is in could be cellular matter, right? That's it, right? Look it up. Again, this is facts. People tell me facts. No, this is facts. Look it up. Menstruation is clean. It's not dirty, right?
Yep.
When you perpetuate that, you are perpetuating you are perpetuating assault on women, telling people that they're unclean. So I don't agree with that statement what Dr. Sebi said about that. Was it true that we had green urine or green semen? Still looking that up. But green semen could mean that we are eating too many plants. Eating too much green plants and stuff, and it could be possible. But when you have green semen, that means you have anything green or yellow is because of white blood cells, white or dead blood cells.
Okay, so if you had different color, so if your excrement looks like a rainbow, it's an issue.
It's an issue. Yeah, it's an issue. It should be clear. Anything should be clear. And that's backed by science. It's not, people can disagree with me with that all day long, all up and down. Dr. Sebi didn't even conclusively say it. He said, I talked to ancestors and the ancestors told me this. He never went on that subject. He said that's what they said because that's what their tribe saw. Tribe saw, but we weren't there. But when you look up the different colors of urine, the different colors of semen and what it means, it'll tell you exactly what it means. Green semen is because of your diet. Could be because of your diet. Could be that you're eating a lot of greens, or it could be that you're sick.
Yep. So if you out here shooting green shurins, you need to get yourself checked. You don't want to be out here shooting alien babies, making predaliens.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, right? But
So someone asked one more question, if that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Someone asked, what happens if your feces is a dark green or green color? Would that be an
Because
indication?
because you're eating healthy. Like green poo means you've been eating a lot of greens. You know what I mean? Like, a
Mm,
lot of times we're eating, but green poo doesn't mean that you're, because sometimes depending on what I eat, it's green. Or it could be really black, and it's because I'm eating a lot of blueberries or whatever,
mm.
right? But black could also mean that I had black dookie, and that was because I was eating raisin bran, and they were fortifying the raisin bran with actual iron.
Oh, yeah, y'all got real food up there. We eating Play-Doh, raisin bread,
Well, they
great
fortified
value.
it with, but no, but listen, they fortified it with iron, real iron.
No,
So like not the chelated iron,
yeah,
but it was the inactive iron, and literally my stool came out black. So it's like, yeah, you don't want to be messing around with that kind of
yeah.
iron.
You had the Wakanda Dookie.
What
Wakanda
kind of
Dookie is
dookie? You know what I mean? They had the Wesley Snipes dookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, pause.
that. Oh, if y'all like the information, y'all put a one in the comments and let them know how much y'all appreciate that the information. Also, if you want to show support to me, the money sign VOILAME for Cash App, Team Voila for Venmo. If you'd like to show some support. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came on, bro. I know people are like, yeah, I needed this.
Well, like people are so like that's the thing is I'm battling a lot of people, a lot of healers. I'm battling with the ideology because again, my brain doesn't see the things that they see. So, I need them to explain. I can't have things explained in this ambiguous terms. But the problem is too is that a lot of people are running with the ambiguity and they are spreading misinformation. And they're telling people not to do things and it's wrong, right? And that's just my perspective. This is like you can't be telling people not to do these certain things because you're robbing them from their health, right?
Yeah,
So I'm approaching it from a middleman perspective. I'm approaching it. I'm looking at both sides and I'm colliding it. I'm one of the only people that are doing it. One of the only ones in this space that's actually looking at the science and looking at science sometimes just gritting my teeth because I don't want to believe it.
yep,
Some of the stuff that I read, I don't want to believe, but I have to be objective when I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I am biased, so I am going to put things that support Dr. Sabi into my content. But I've had to educate myself on a lot of the process because I didn't know anything about this stuff in 2017. I had no clue. I had to take chemistry courses. I had to take all these different things to educate myself because that's what Dr. Sabi said. And the reason why I started educating myself because there was a brother that was a healer who's a well-known healer in this space, and I was like, "Teach me, like where's your sources?" I don't provide sources. Look it up on your own self. Look it up yourself, right? And that's what these guys are telling. They're like, we don't do the research. We don't do all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start my own channel. And then 50,000 people later, people are taking me quite seriously because, now they can go back and say, well, the viscosity of my mucus, right? Because you'll go on to people's podcasts and listen to them trash Dr. Sabi, and
mhm,
they're trashing Dr. Sabi, not understanding the things that Dr. Sabi was saying, and people are running with it. So, like, people have debated me on this platform, and I dragged their ass.
hit him with the 1-2.
Yeah, hit them with a 1-2 and drag them because they're not prepared for it because I got the facts.
Quantifiable results.
Yeah, facts. I just drag them. This woman tried to, God bless her soul, but she was trying to get me because I found reports that turmeric was messing up your liver. And these were case studies. They were not random trials, right? So I was just doing my thing. And she's like, this creator, black girl, this creator, she's trying to be white. This creator doesn't read the articles, and he does this and he does that, and and all she did, and I just said, I looked at her and I'm like, it's very interesting that you're attacking me, but the fact of the matter is that out of 10 people, there were 7 people that had liver damage, and 3 people that didn't have that had liver damage. But 3 people that had liver damage, and it was due to a gene, an H something allele gene that causes that issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but there were 3 people out of the 10 cases that had induced liver damage because of the turmeric. It wasn't because they had the gene, it was because of the turmeric. And I pointed out the 3, and she said to me, she was like, well, you don't understand statistics because you want to go towards the bigger number. I'm like, no, we want to go towards the smaller number. You know why? Because if turmeric ain't shit, it ain't shit. And that was the point with Dr. Sebi, right? If one person has liver damage from turmeric, I don't want it, right?
Yep.
I don't want it. So she went to further say that you want to check with your doctors before taking turmeric, and you want to check, and I was like, excuse my language, but I'm like, bitch, like, did you just tell me? Did you just tell me that we got to check with our doctors to take turmeric?
What?
Huh? I'm like, you proved my point. Dragged her. Because it's like, don't be telling us and fighting me when we telling you that it's, turmeric is no good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't fight me. This is what Dr. Sebi said. You want to fight me? Go fight Dr. Sebi. God rest his soul. But don't fight us, right? Because if one person is showing up, because I was the first to report on this months back, because there were 3 cases that I came up on my own research of people that had this liver damage. Yeah. So I brought it up. And people were like, well, I was, Ayurvedic medicine and this and that and Ayurvedic. I was like, I don't care about your Ayurveda because it ain't healing my people. You know what I mean? I don't care, right? I don't care about your Ayurveda. And that's what Dr. Sebi did. He traveled all over the world, traveled to different healers, and found the solutions in Africa that were meant for us. So, you know what I mean? If 10 people are showing up with liver damage, maybe we want to stop it. But I used her words against her. I let her do all the work because I'm not smart in this. She was a geneticist, right? I wasn't smart, right? She's in genetics. And some little kid from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, made her degree look like toilet paper.
Doo-doo-doo.
The people are scared to talk about these things, and whenever people have businesses and they're running, and they're paid to do these reports or not, those businesses could go after them.
Yeah, I'm very biased, and in that regard, like I'm following Dr. Sebi because that's what this account is about. But I would say that in this regard, she is right. You have to go and talk to your doctors before taking some of these herbs because these herbs are not going to agree with everybody, right? But the thing about the Dr. Sebi herbs, specifically about those herbs, is that they're the ones on the list that have the littlest side effects, right? That's the key indicator between all of the herbs that are on the list. It's that these particular herbs have no side effects. The whole thing about Dr. Sebi healing, if we were to wrap it up, it's not about alkalinity. It's just eat natural food that was made by the universe. That's it. He's following the Bible, right? And even though I'm not Christian, the reality is that at that time, these people were eating stuff that wasn't man-made and this and that. Maybe there was a few things that they invented during those times, because in a 10,000 span, there were like moringa was something that was invented. Black seeds were something that were invented within that 10-year span. Turmeric was invented 3,000 years ago.
Man.
Okay, so the reality is that we are biased because we are matching. We are biased in this diet because we are matching natural. We are balancing between natural and unnatural. The stuff that was created by nature and the stuff that was created by man. Now, when it's in regards to hybridized foods that were made by nature, key limes are hybrids.
Really?
Yeah. Look it up. If you just go to Wikipedia and just look up the name. The name signifies the hybrid because you put an X between the two species, and that's what you get the scientific hybridized name. So the hybridized, but these hybrids are made naturally. So sometimes something will have a scientific name, but it won't be hybridized. It won't have the hybridized name, so you won't know that it's hybrid. But if you look at the genealogy, if you look at the taxonomy of the species, it had been hybridized somewhere down the line. So it's a study of genetics, and a lot of people who follow Dr. Sebi don't realize that half the food that they're eating is hybrid.
Yep. A lot of food is hybrids, like cauliflower, greens? It all come from the same plant, crossbreeding.
But I'm talking about the stuff that's approved on the Dr. Sebi list. Some of those are hybrids, but there's a difference. The Carolina Reaper, the hot pepper, that's a hybrid made by man. The ghost pepper is a hybrid. I think the ghost pepper is a natural habanero, right? It's just like some of these plants go through, I don't know, don't quote me, but some of these plants go through their own hybridizations process. It's cross-pollination. So it's about getting the facts right so that we can have this conversation, this dialogue correctly. Honestly.
And to know what is beneficial for our bodies, the correct foods to eat. Is best a variety of fruits and vegetables, or whatever you like to eat. Basically, we all trying to figure out what to do because everything on the planet is by dookie juice.
Oh yeah. And someone said in the comment section about vegetables, there's no such thing as vegetables either. What plant creates vegetables?
I don't know. What plant?
None. Plants are vegetables. It's another word for calling vegetables, but plants don't produce vegetables. The anatomy of a plant is seeds, roots, stems, leaves, and fruit.
Yeah, vegetables are just mass-produced crops.
And buds, right? So, what they call, like what QUIETQREW is saying, is what they call broccoli. They call it a vegetable because it's dead. It has no purpose. Mother Nature creates ovaries we call fruit, and we eat that. Right. Broccoli has no purpose. Nope. Cauliflower has no purpose. And it stinks when you put it into the thing. It stinks up your poo. It has toxins in it.
Vegetables are dirt food. They're just mass-produced crops to make people think that they're full when they're really not.
Yep.
Yeah. Full of starch.
Salad decorations.
Yeah. They're decorations, but they're not real. They're not a plant. They have no purpose. There's no function. There's no function to a cauliflower. What is the purpose of the cauliflower?
To taste like garbage?
But hear me out. What bee? The bee pollinating a cauliflower? Looking for, where's the pollen in the cauliflower? I'm being stupid because maybe it's somewhere else. I don't know. It's just that there's no functions for these vegetables, and they're vegetables because they're dead. They don't do anything for us. And, they may have certain vitamins, but they also have toxins in them as well. Yep. And you can look up those toxins. There's like carnivorous fruits. I think that's what they call them. or coniferous, or I forget what you call it, that group of nightshades. But
I think it's called DHT or something like that.
I know
yeah,
what
I don't know.
y'all talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but so cauliflower, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, all of those, if you don't cook them correctly, you can hurt yourself. They
Yeah,
all
they're
contain.
like hormone disruptors and synapse blockers.
Thanks.
Yeah, what toxins are found in broccoli?
The taste.
Yeah, and it's nasty. Like who? Like even as a child, you looking at that broccoli like.
I don't want that. I don't
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah, we looking at the broccoli. We don't want to eat any of that. Carrots, like, who wants to eat a carrot? You know what I mean? Like all that stuff. When they made us eat it as a kid, and they said it was good, like you looking at the person like, I want some McDonald's. Like, give me some McDonald's. I never liked a carrot, but zucchinis, all those sort of things. Yeah, like, and then when you're eating, like, one of the foods I hated as a kid was potatoes. Like potatoes by itself. Like who wanted to eat a potato? You wanted fries, you wanted salt on it, you wanted all kinds of stuff, but eating it in its natural form is nasty.
It's dirt food. That's exactly what it is. It's dirt food, and it just feeds the masses to making them believe that it makes them full. And it's parasite. It literally inhibits parasite growth. Like I was reading up on this, like through chemistry, like literally the starch brings the manifestation of microbes to where it's easier for certain grubs to feed on. That is the purpose of these starchy types of vegetables. They were not made for the human to consume.
Right.
It's okay. It's not gonna kill you if you consume it, because the universe is for us. You know what I mean? The universe, God is for us. But us, when we talk about going back to these abstract scientific data analysis, because that's what they are. They're abstract. That's what we find out.
Mm-hmm. And you found out they used to serve potatoes to peasants. By the way, just to tell y'all, back when the kings and queens, they would throw potatoes. Here you go, eat your potatoes.
Yeah, it was the easiest. It was the easiest mass-produced, carbohydrate, because that's what they are. They're carbohydrates, and they're the cheapest carbohydrates that can be produced. Same thing with rice. Rice is poor people food, and I don't mean to strike a nerve with people's culture. I don't mean to strike a nerve with people's trauma bond foods or heavy, rice and beans and tortillas and all that types of food, but it is stagnate to the human body. And it's as simple as that. You got to look at chemistry. You got to look at things on a chemical based, fundamental, small molecular level.
Yep. What I tell people is, you know your body better than anybody else. We giving you game on how to be a healthier person, but you choose what you want to do. That's all. You grown.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, I want to make it clear on your page that I'm not here to kiss no one's ass. I pay my bills just like everyone else pays their bills, and they live their life the way that they want to live it. Again, I'm just bringing forward some information that if it resonates, it resonates. If it don't, then it was never made for you. We could let it go. But I want to bring forward an effort in placing these topics into conversation, and that's why I'm on, Voilame's Infinity's page. This is why I join with these topics of discussion, because my interest is just to bring out the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I know Dr. Sabian Academy was talking about how he's biased, and I respect that he's able to say that, but when we talk about healing people, we got to be straightforward with the way that me as a healer, I don't think he identifies himself as a healer, but me and what I do as a healer, I have to be firm. I have to bring the analytical data and the information and resonate with people on certain vibrations for them to understand and receive the information to change themselves, because it's not that you just bring out data and expect somebody to change. You got to also connect with them on a DNA basis, on a conversational, esoterical basis. You see what I'm saying? And I love these conversations because I'm able to communicate with masculine energy men that are able to bring on a different perspective, and I love that. I love that because these topics must be talked about, but I'm bringing in the feminine aspects of these types of conversations. I am Dr. Sabian Soul Tribe. Like, I am connected to this connection. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So, because I
Right.
feel it in my bones, I'm living it, I'm doing it, I'm resonating with it, and I'm also connecting others to it. So, my DNA, whether it's esoterically connected, is for this. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very firm and I'm very straightforward because I don't want nobody to misconstrue my messages, my information.
Oh yeah, no, we understand completely, and we're grateful for all the information you provide and all the people who are asking questions. For everyone in here, we appreciate you stimulating more conversation as well, because, like she said, we need to have more of these conversations so we can learn what's best for our bodies and what
The
works
thing is
best.
that people don't understand that me and Dr. Sabian Academy have been friends, and we've connected, we've debated, we've talked even on a one-on-one, communicative level. And a lot of the points that he was saying basically comes from my knowledge that we
Yeah.
shared together, that we reached the answers about. And it does take masculine and feminine energy in order to do so. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I mean, I do talk over him sometimes, which I know it comes off as being disrespectful on the viewer's eyes, but
Yeah.
to me it's a way of you know mingling our energy, to get the answer.
No,
You
I
see what I'm
understand.
saying?
Yeah, I understand completely. It's good to have an intellectual conversation to be able to exchange this type of information with each other, because we don't. It's hard for these kind of conversations to happen because they try to block and do all kinds of crazy stuff when you're giving people information on how to heal and be a better
we
them.
Me and Dr. Sabian Academy have shared very intimate details about our downloads before we
Mhm.
even met each other. And the
Oh
downloads
yeah,
that we received were very, very similar. And that's how we came to conclude that we are part of the same soul tribe. And, you know, again, I know that I sound like I am overbearing at times, but, you know, when we talk about astrology, because the DNA molecules are attached to the esoteric realms of knowledge, the wisdom, the myths and things. I'm a double up Leo Libra moon. I am going to be loud, I am going to be straightforward and courageous and talk about these topics,
yeah,
unlike other people that are based off different light spectrums. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? And it is what it is. I'm here for a purpose. I know it, I feel it, and I'm grateful.
Me too. I'm glad to have met you. Excuse me. I'm glad to have met you and to collab with you, because you have a lot of passion and you have a lot of knowledge, and you took a lot of time in order to bring this together to share with people. And this is what I tell y'all. Y'all need to go follow Quiet Crew right here, QUIETQREW. If you go to the website, Quiet Crew, QUIETQREW.com, type in my name, Voilame. Also, excuse me. Also, she does iridiology, face readings, we'll say one-on-ones. You can get in contact with her for all of these things. There she is.
And it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to converse about these topics. um and I'm always very, very grateful to have the opportunity to just connect.
Yeah,
I
same,
really truly am.
same. And honestly, this podcast is going to be fire. I already had Caleb. I got Dr. Sabian. I got you. This podcast is going to be fire, bro. I'm too hyped. I
Yeah.
definitely got to get you on a podcast episode. I definitely got to get you on a.
Oh yeah. And I know I think Dr. Sabian Academy was talking about how the Menzies is not dirty, or because it brings on like a patriarchal like look to it, to the woman.
Mm, yeah.
And I think the part where maybe he knows, I'm not too sure, but in those times, in the ancient times, you know, the women didn't want to, you know, experience a menses. You know, they were pregnant most of the time because the involvement between masculine and feminine had no destruction. You know, they had no obstruction. So the women were pregnant all the time, you know, and when they weren't pregnant, they were wanting to get pregnant, you see? So there was no hole, there was no distortion there. You see what I'm saying? And that does make the blood dirty, because when a woman had her menses, she saw that as being, you know, a loss, and that is to be, you know, disregarded. So it is seen esoterically. Maybe it cannot be pinpointed, you know, with, you know, analytical data, but that's how those, you know, those lives lived. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it was considered dirty. It's just that people don't know who they are. People are just in the whirlwind of being in the void, and they don't know who they are. But let me tell you, the reasons why I could tell you how we could know who we are is because women in a collective don't like their periods. They find their periods to be very bothersome, very uncomfortable, very painful. You know, this is not an experience that we are understanding now that we want. You see? So that backs up the knowledge or the feeling, the emotional, esoteric feeling that it's something that needs to be gone, you know, that needs to be left behind. You see? And there are tribes up to this point of time in Africa where they eat predominantly a plant-based, fruitful diet, and also in South America. And those women do not experience menses. They don't. They don't need to. I have a book right here. And for those that are interested to walk into that rabbit hole, this book that I mentioned before, the reasons why I bought this book, the medical herbalism book, is because it talks about that estrogen cycles are just that. They're just estrogen cycles. It was never intended to bring forward a bleeding or a hemorrhaging of the woman's body. It never was supposed to happen. The thing is that women got scared that they're not going to get pregnant, so they went to, you know, these facilities to get checked, and then the man checking those women harmed them, not just physically but esoterically, emotionally. That's what brought on the menses, the menses, and that's what brought forward the woman into experiencing this trauma, because when women protected their man, you know, their king of those times, you know, there was no, you know, other man that could have been involved in their union. So whenever another man, which got brought over through time because of the lack of, you know, environmental situations, you know, which I think was an attack, but that's a whole nother video. This brought up the women to be traumatized, and that's what brought on the hemorrhaging of the woman's body. Okay, up to this point of time in 2023, there are women that do not experience a menses, and I am friends with one of them. You know, cultures and tribes that do not experience a menses because they have not been penetrated by, you know, the world that we live in today, and especially here in America. You know, but men don't know that, you know, and, you know, men don't, you know, the knowledge wasn't passed down to the man. You know, the downloads and the esoteric knowledge wasn't passed down to the man because that's not for him to have known. Even up to this point, it's for the woman to know. You see?
Yeah.
So, you know, going back to the estrus cycle is just that. It's just the cycle. The thing that happened was people, you know, women started getting afraid that they weren't going to get pregnant because they were experiencing losses. And that's what brought on the menstrual cycle. And because they started experiencing losses, they started questioning. Questioning what caused this ease. What caused this? And that's when they were looking outside of themselves, outside of their kingdom, okay, or their king, okay, to get those answers.
Yep.
And up to this point, that's how we could know that it is a disease. because we're still struggling with that even today. We got girls as early as 8 years old experiencing menses. You cannot tell me that that is not a degeneration of the human female body. It absolutely is. It's absolutely is. And you know, they're gonna tell you, oh, bring me analytical data on that. You know, how can we? How can we?
Yep.
We can't, because this was esoteric knowledge that was passed down and lived, you know? Still up to this day, it is not considered a natural, you know, it's not considered a natural occurrence for any natural animal to experience a menses. You won't see it. You will not observe that in nature. You will not see an animal that is a mammal that bleeds in nature, except for the human being. And those that are bleeding have been enslaved and domesticated.
Facts. Facts. 100% facts. Miss Quiet Crew, I think I'm about to slow the live down. I've been on for like 4 hours total, and they did that for loop stuff earlier and cut the live. But I'm gonna post both of these parts on my YouTube. I'll try to save both of these lives so y'all can go on because these was man, boy, these were fire. But I have to get ready. I got to get up early in the morning. I got to get up early in the morning. I got an appointment or two. But
understood.
I appreciate you coming through. And I told y'all to go follow her for a reason. She has some really good information. Quiet Crew and quietcrew.com. Type in my name or just mention my name to her and she knows what's up. Just mention my name and she got you. Iridiology, facial readings, all astrology. She had a wide variety. This is a multi-dimensional person.
Yeah. I just want to touch bases on 2 other points quickly.
Okay.
I saw somebody commenting that dogs bleed. Yes, they bleed because they've been domesticated. They're not natural. Dogs are not natural. That's why they bleed, first off. Second of all, the menstrual cycle absolutely deals with men and the diet, the lifestyle, the food consumption. It is related, and I will eventually show proof and data of that. Third point before I go, the last one is, if you're having fertility concerns, okay? It doesn't matter what age you are, okay? And listen to me closely. If you're having fertility concerns, it's because the synapses have been degenerated with the food. And the ways that you could determine whether or not you are experiencing ovulation, which is not coinciding with menstruation, the ways you could distinguish that is the dip and the rise of your temperature throughout the month. And women could ovulate whenever their man wants them to. That's a whole nother video on its own, and I'll leave that till next time.
Y'all need to go follow her. She gonna put you on some game. But I appreciate you, Quiet Crew. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all of y'all for coming through
today. I know it was litty. I know I will try to save these lives if I can. I don't know. It just depends on how they do it. This was all for entertainment and educational purposes. You know what I'm saying? Well, appreciate DRSEBIACADEMY Academy for coming in. Quiet Crew for coming in. Thank you, all of you, for coming in. Anu Juice, y'all go follow my boy Anu Juice. You go follow Indigenous Thought. Got some good content. Follow my boy Reezy, Yasi. We're all a community, y'all. We trying to share and spread information so we can all rise together. Oh yeah, Anu. So hey, if you ready tomorrow, me and Anu Juice can do a live tomorrow. Y'all y'all want me and Anu to do a live? Y'all want us to come through on y'all? Y'all want that? we can do that tomorrow if y'all want to. The next rising, if y'all down. Next strong. So y'all follow me on my accounts. They're all in my bio. Go to my Instagram, Voilame _, and you can click all my bios. Thank you, Quiet Crew. Thank you, Indigenous. Thank you, all my moderators. I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for everybody who tuned in. If you want to show support, hit the money sign, VOILAME, for Cashapp, TeamVoila for Venmo. You know you got some knowledge today. Ain't no way you know you learned something today. Peace in, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to my energy, as Anu Juice will say. This is all Anu Juice. Peace reflections. Peace, bro gods and sis goddesses. I wish y'all happy, strong, and you take care. We will be on tomorrow if I ain't banned. If I ain't banned, I'm gonna get a notification. Sorry, sir, you can't log in anymore. Look at that. You gotta enter a passcode. Todd's working overtime. Come on. He's with Anu. Phil, I need you to call in the elites. Call in Seymour, Elizabeth. Melanin alert. Melanin alert. Should have never gave y'all nigga power. Todd Jurgens. Should have never gave y'all God's powers. Anyway, dog, I'm about to head out, man. Todd Jurgens. Hey, I know you're there watching. Yeah. Have a good night, Todd. Laser beam.